Cowboy Nation, won't you just look on your screen and behold this magic? Behold this masterful chess play while the rest of the league was out here playing checkers, man. Just this is what Stephen Jones and the rest of the front office have been putting together while we've been sitting back enjoying our summers and our COVID summers. It wasn't that enjoyable, but while we was out here just waiting on football, we put together something masterful. Today I'm going to talk about our D-line and some of the combinations of guys that we can run out there. We're going to talk about some of the depth and just a little bit of just Cowboy talk and discussion on the back end. So everybody, please stay tuned to all this goodness that we have in front of you. But take a look at it, man. DeMarcus Lawrence is the only guy that's in a Cowboy jersey in terms of your first string unit. Now, we weren't necessarily trying to replace DeMarcus Lawrence. I know there were some I Am Legend monsters that think DeMarcus Lawrence is bad. I think he's going to, change their mind this year. You know how those guys get. But DeMarcus Lawrence, we didn't need too much help at left defensive end. But everybody else, 3 tech, 1 tech, right defensive end, we needed some improvement there. We've been trying to find a right defensive end for years. Like Tyrone Crawford has been our right defensive end because we had no other choice, right? So we get Gerald McCoy, who is an upgrade over Collins, right? Malik Collins. And I'm gonna say this a bunch today, right? So just be prepared. Everybody just think about this. I don't need Gerald McCoy to be the best version of himself. I don't need Dontari Poe to be the best version of himself. Neither do I need Everson Griffin to be that, right? I just need them to be better than what we had, right? Gerald McCoy is better than Malik Collins. Dontari Poe is better than Antoine Woods. Everson Griffin is damn sure better than, Tyrone Crawford or whoever the hell that we're going to be running out there at right defensive end. I also think he's better than Robert Quinn. You can watch my Robert Quinn film sessions. You can go watch the Everson Griffin film sessions. I give you plenty of reasons why I favor Everson over Robert. I just think the Everson and D-Law combo is better than, D-Law and Clowney or D-Law and Quinn or whatever, right? So I do think that we optimized the right defensive end spot by getting Everson Griffin, right? We already know Dontari Poe is gonna just put everything else in motion. Him being 300 and mad pounds and taking up all those double team blocks, but still being quick footed enough to boogie a little bit. He's gonna make our linebackers a little better. He's gonna make Gerald McCoy better. We'll probably get less double teams on our ends, right? Because last year that was our big problem, right? We were so caught up on our ends getting double teamed. Well, if we get better 3 tech play, better 1 tech play, then our ends will get double teamed a lot less. You know what I mean? But boy, oh boy, what a first team unit. Let's move on a little bit. You know what I like about Aldon Smith? All of the preseason indicators are saying good things about Aldon Smith, right? Nobody's saying, yeah, man, we're just slowly but surely watching Aldon Smith get in shape. Yeah, Aldon's out of shape. We're just seeing him work his way back in. We're not saying none of that, right? We're saying, yo, Aldon Smith is shredded. He looks like he's in fantastic shape. Oh, he beat Tyron Smith once or twice, right? One win versus Tyron Smith is worth an NFL contract somewhere, right? So there can be situations where, and there will be times like this, where Everson Griffin could get tired. We'll put him on the sideline and just let Aldon Smith be that rotational guy, right? All the best Super Bowl teams ever in life have had like just rotations of pass rushers, right? Because guys get tired or guys get hurt at some point in the season, and you need to be able to, keep that pressure up. Good thing about Aldon Smith is that I think he can play both sides. I think he might be our most versatile guy, to where he can be a point holder type of guy where he can play the run at left defensive end, or he could be your super pass rushy guy from right defensive end, or you can line him up as a linebacker outside of your right defensive end, right? Whatever you want to do with Aldon Smith, you can do it. In this scenario, how fire would it be if we can get Aldon Smith at left defensive end and Randy Gregory at the right side? Now, Randy hasn't been reinstated yet because the NFL love to drag their feet when it comes to the Dallas Cowboys. But assuming Randy Gregory gets reinstated because weed is no longer a no-no in the National Football League, this is a combination that's worth worrying about, right? We know D-Law can get you sacks. And we know Everson Griffin can get you sacks, but for the most part, those guys also bring you, value in the run game. So they're more of your balanced guys. But talking about pure pass rushy guys, I'm putting Randy Gregory out there. And based on what I'm hearing, I'm putting Aldon Smith out there too, just to kind of see what's next. And what do I mean? What's next? Like, we know Aldon Smith is a process, or at least dealing with him will be a process, right? So, okay, you're looking good in practice. What's next? Okay, let's look good in the game. Okay, what's next? Okay, let's get a sack in the game, right? Cool. Let's get multiple sacks in the game. Aldon Smith only makes $4 million if he can get 14 sacks. I will pay him that gladly. But in terms of that whole what's next conversation, we may need to move Aldon slowly. So while we're doing that, we have the I would say flexibility to put Tyrone Crawford at left defensive end. I know y'all hate Tyrone Crawford, but his ass is always around when you need him, and you have needed him a bunch. Y'all should stop being ungrateful with Tyrone Crawford. And we've seen the him and Randy Gregory on the field at the same time thing happen. Like, we've seen that before. I'm going to make a fantastic point in about 6 more slides. Y'all just hang tight. But until then, let me give you a little bit of analysis on Dorrance Armstrong. All right, there's my analysis on Dorrance Armstrong. Let's put your first team defensive ends back up there, and let's talk about the interior guys, right? We're talking about Tyrone Crawford on the outside. Well, if these defensive ends can really get a hold of their spots, like if we have no question marks about who the first and second team left end and right end are, then Tyrone Crawford can be where he plays the best. He's best playing inside at 3 tech. Now, is he like a game breaker superstar type of dude in there? No. But if Gerald McCoy comes off the field, you know, you feel good about Tyrone Crawford being in there. I'm going to make that point later. Y'all just hang tight, please. Then we got Antoine Woods, right? Antoine Woods being our backup rotational 1 tech right here. If I could just put this on paper to just kind of let y'all look at it, it's a cool little setup, man. But let's just keep moving and see what other lineups we got. So we got the young lineup here. In my opinion, Neville Gallimore is going to be a 3 tech. I just think he has the athleticism to pull it off, but I do think he has the size to play 1 tech sometimes. You know how just some of these players are just mainly 3 techs, but they play 1 tech sometimes. Malik Collins was kind of like a guy like that, to where he mostly played B gap or whatnot. I think that's going to be Everson sometimes, because if anything were to happen to Dontari Poe and Antoine Woods had to go back out and start again, then we would need somebody to play 1 tech. I would rather Neville play 1 tech because he has the body for it, opposed to Tristan Hill, who is purely B gap guy to me. So I'm pulling this picture up for a reason, right? I kind of wanted to tell y'all, what I've been trying to say throughout this whole film session, but I get real giddy because I wanted to say it right here on this slide right here. Look at this line right here. Just look at this D line right here, right? That could be a starting D line in the league somewhere. And that is our entire second team D line. You know what I'm saying? Like, once upon a time, Randy was the first right defensive end for us. Once upon a time, Antoine Woods was the first team 1 tech. Tyrone Crawford was the first team something, whether it was left end or whether it was 3 tech or whatever, right? Aldon Smith, once upon a time, was a first team defensive end. These guys can't start on our team. They can't start here. And that lets you know how good we are now. The guys that we would have run out and talking about starting are our backups now. They are backups now. And I think that's something to be proud of. I think we should be proud of this offensive line. I think we should be proud of the moves that we offensive line, defensive line. We should be proud of these moves that we put together, and we really didn't break the bank to do any of them. All these guys cheap. Aldon Smith making like $32. Randy Gregory still making $32. Antoine Woods is cheap. Tyrone Crawford making a lot of money, but that's kind of what y'all hate on him about, right? Like, y'all hate him because his dollar amount is so high. Like, will he take a pay cut? I don't know. I wouldn't take a pay cut. But this ain't the time to be pay cutting people. I'm not trying to build a team and worry about salary cap. I'm trying to win a Super Bowl. And Tyrone Crawford is very important to you, right? Because if anything happens to one of your D tackles, you want to look at his extra solid ass and you want to be like, hey, bro, you're extra solid. I can deal with you. Right? You may not be the best 3 tech in the league. You may not be the left defensive end in the league, but you're super solid. And I ain't got my starter right now. And I would rather have you out there than some scrub. Thank you, Tyrone Crawford. I'll say it because these other ungrateful Cowboy fans won't. But hey, man, that's all I had to say, man. I ain't want to hold y'all too long today. Just want to talk about a couple of these rotation pieces, and just what a handful of our defensive lines would look like. Right? Be proud of your D line, because our backup D-line can go start for somebody else, bro. And I mean that. I'm not being a super fan. All right. Y'all don't know what to do with all the other little algorithm promo stuff, man. Just hit all the buttons and like it and tell a friend and sub and hit the notification bell because you know it's almost film season. All right. Y'all holding down for the Doski, Woski, and Peasky Whiskey, man. Till next time. Salute. The YouTube Illuminati is taking money away from your favorite content creators, and people often ask the best way to support the channel directly. I tell them that's subscribing on my Patreon. Just $1 a month would increase production and the frequency of uploads. Basically, that means more content for you. For less than a bag of almond M&Ms, you can support the channel, call dibs on requests for future videos, and you can have access to Patreon exclusive material like my throwback film sessions. That's patreon.com/Voch Lombardi. I appreciate the support. Doski Woski. Salute.